Hi, this is Rob Pierce. I'm the Webmaster and Secretary for PMEA District 2, and I'd like to give you a little tutorial on how to fill out the student forms for festivals. First of all, you can find the forms on the website under the festival that the students are attending. I'll use District Chorus as an example. You would click on the vocal festivals, and there's a sub-menu for District Chorus. All of the forms that you need are right here under Festival Forms. These are the ones that need to be taken care of by the students and the director. They're the most important forms, the ones that happen most often, that we need the most. The bottom forms are informational, and they're forms that are used for the festival. They're handy to look at and good to know. For instance, here's the entire choral policy right here. Explains everything in agonizing detail so you know exactly how everything happens. Also has examples of the judges' score sheets, so you could even copy these off and hand them to the students so they know exactly what they're being judged on. There's a concert solo policy. If you have a student who's interested in singing an incidental solo, this is a great thing for them to look at. Also, solo audition score sheets so they can see how they'll be scored. But you can download all of those forms here. I already have them opened up, so we can take a quick look at them. The first form that we should look at, all of the students have to fill out a student medical information form for obvious reasons. These forms should be complete, and the most important thing that you really should check before you send these off is for the parent signature. It's a great idea to go through and highlight that spot right there with a big yellow highlighter, because this is the thing that is most often overlooked. They fill out all of this medical information on 2 pages. They should be copied double-sided, by the way. It just saves paper, and it's much better from a legal point of view for us. That way the signature goes with both pages. But a lot of times they'll take care of all of that and totally forget to sign it. And so the host director has to send this back to the local director, and they have to give it to the students who have to take it home to the parents, and it just really slows up the process. So please, when you collect these forms from parents, make sure they are signed. That's very important. This is the code of conduct, very important for the students to read over. Also explains what happens if they fail to follow the rules of conduct. Once again, great idea for you to highlight the student signature, because a lot of times students take these forms home and they just toss a stack of forms at mom and dad and expect them to handle everything, but there's a place where they have to sign too. So highlight that and double check it to prevent things from bogging down later. There's also a place where you have to fill out some things, parts for school personnel. All of these have to be taken care of too. There's a place where you have to sign your name, and once again, great idea to highlight this. Another place for a parent signature. That's also very important. A principal signature is needed, but it's not on any of the student forms. The principal's signature is needed on the director's preference list, and there's a separate tutorial to explain that. The final forms are not always needed. In fact, often they're not, but they're important for us to have, and I'll go through them quickly. First of all, there's a female tenor bass policy. This policy is only needed if you are sending a girl who is singing a tenor part, or also if you are sending a guy who is singing an alto or a soprano part. Every once in a while we have a student who is used to singing in those ranges, and they really want to audition. We can't legally prevent them from doing that, but we often think it's kind of dangerous for especially young adolescent girls to be singing in such a low range, and they could possibly do harm. This is basically just a legal waiver that says if you're going to sing in a range that we consider to be a little bit risky, you're going to assume the liability if you injure yourself while you're doing it. Just a legal document. Same thing here. This is a housing waiver. This is only needed if students are attending the festival but not being housed by the festival host. In many cases, we have students that live in a district adjacent to the one where the festival is taking place, so they don't necessarily need to be housed by the host school. They can stay at home. In that case, we need to have this form filled out. And once again, we need signatures, and it's a great idea to highlight them so we know that we have to have a signature on each of these, or it's got to go right back to the school that it came from. This takes care of all of the student forms. Get these all filled out and to the director on time. That is the most important goal you have very early in the process, and it's the thing that really bogs things down for the host director. It makes it very difficult for them. So please get them to the address listed on the web page as quickly as possible, and certainly by the due date.